I am Godson by name. I'm an ex-boy in MS-94. I passed out in the year 2000 and I was posted in that same year 2000 as a military police with my army number 00NA/94/1198. Now, to cut the long story short, I do not want to start taking your time unnecessarily, start going down memory lane. I have to go straight to the point of what has necessitated me to do this very video so that it will not bore my audience and viewers. It was in the year January 2020 at 9 Brigade Provost Company, Ikeja Cantonment, under the leadership of our officer commanding, now retired, Captain B.A. Lawal. Captain B.A. Lawal was my OC then. As soon as he took over command in January, on January 15th, there about 2020, I approached him telling him that I want to apply for the second time for voluntary discharge to leave the army voluntarily, which is according to section 32 of the Armed Forces Act, Cap 820, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, which is my right. He now tried discouraging me as an officer that he is, that why do I want to leave the army offers prospect. I said, no prospect. That's then that I was running my masters. I'm left with my proposal defense, internal defense, external defense, and they just brought me back, punished me for nothing. Nobody wrote to the Nigerian Defense Academy, which is a military top institution now where I started the masters. I was let from this same office on 2017 to start the masters like other ex-boys. Shun Kolawole, Kazim Hassan retired, Wera Prezi and the rest. None of us were sponsored, none of them were disturbed. In fact, some even did their own abroad. They came, punished them and left them. None of them passed through all the indecency, indignities, wickedness, evil they made me to pass through. So when I told Lawal refused that he's not going to sign my voluntary discharge and thereabout, that even him too, he's frustrated, he's about leaving the army, he has failed captain to major several times, and they've served him paper twice. And I said, sir, this is the reason why you should help me, that my promotion is not coming. I've been on the rank of corporal for long. When my mates and the officers cadre were lieutenant colonel, my mates in this other rank cadre were sergeants, and they pinned me down in one rank. And secondly, sir, my father was very, very sick. I needed to just go so that from taking care of him, since he trained us alone, I would be able to face other challenges like continuing my education and furthering other callings I have in life. Lawal refused. My uncle had to come. My uncle stepped into the whole matter based on my father's prompting, gave Lawal money. Lawal collected money from him. That day I was on duty at Arena. He came, collected money. That was when he now told me to write the voluntary, which I submitted, dated 22nd of January 2020. He promised to forward it, which is in 6 months' time, around June, July, my name will come out. Before then, after then, he accepted my application that he will process it, that he's going to send it to 9 Brigade, Garrison or whatever, so that they will come onward to Abuja. I left it at that. When they reopened institutions after the coronavirus, I approached him. He released me to go to NDA. He released me to go and complete my studies, not to start a fresh studies, which I did promptly. I went to NDA, Kaduna, which is a military institution, which is a sister institution that they can easily write to withdraw me, or they can send the military police to arrest me in case I didn't go legally the way they were claiming. But all of a sudden, Lawal said if I should go, my uncle should call him, since he was in the United States. He was not in America. He was not in Nigeria. He's working for Lawi or he come Nigerian Wiki. So along the line, Lawal didn't get the money or the call he wanted. He booked me on AWOL. But nobody called me before booking me on AWOL as the procedure requires. Not even the chief clerk, as they lied in their report in the board of inquiry. They lied in the board of inquiry that warrant officer Doris Uswagu, she's a master warrant officer, now called me. And she was not even the one that was the chief clerk then. Nobody called me based on the AWOL procedure. They went ahead, booked me on AWOL, and nobody called me. I thought everything was going on fine. When I consulted them, they said it's not from the office. That's the whole thing. They don't even know.
Hello, great people. You just watched a soldier's lamentation about the alleged injustice, corruption, and marginalization in the Nigerian military. The soldier mentioned names, which we'll go into in a moment, and he mentioned something called AWOL. What is AWOL? I will be telling you the meaning of that AWOL in a moment. But from the look of things, this soldier looks clearly frustrated, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that a soldier that is looking this emotionally unstable, a soldier that is looking out of thought, a soldier that is running out of of options, a soldier that is clearly disturbed, how will such a man function effectively in a sensitive organization and duty as being a soldier in the Nigerian military? I'm wondering, if you give this kind of man that is clearly frustrated a firearm, won't he misbehave? If you take him to the battlefront, won't he be killed? Or won't he himself even overkill at the battlefront? So I think the Nigerian army needs to be very careful, and they should be looking into the mental status of their soldiers and officers, because if you have a man like this that is frustrated and it appears that even the Nigerian military system couldn't help him, then it leaves much to be desired. The man, Corporal Godson, said that there is a report. So I'm not privy to that report, and so we cannot base our judgment on only his submission. But I'm just saying what I observed in that particular video as regards his appearance, his submission, and all that. Now, he mentioned something called AWOL. What is AWOL? AWOL is absent without official leave. If you leave duty, if you are absent from duty and there's no official leave, definitely they will book you on AWOL. And sometimes that comes with serious consequence, because you are not expected to leave your duty station or your duty post without an official leave. And in a regimental setting like the Nigerian military, definitely if you are booked for AWOL, sometimes it comes with serious consequence depending on what your superiors think your punishment should be. And the man, Corporal Godson, he mentioned his officer commanding, who he cast a lot of aspersion on, and that officer commanding is now retired in the person of retired Captain B.A. Lawan. He leveled a lot of allegation against retired Captain B.A. Lawan, including him rolling with Yahoo boys in the military police, that, oh, as a military police officer, that the retired captain, who happens to be his officer commanding at that time, that they should see him with Yahoo boys and all that. If that is true, then it leaves much to be desired. So I think that the Nigerian army shouldn't take this statement lightly. They should be able to investigate the man. But one thing I don't know is that now that the man, retired Captain B.A. Lawan, is retired, can the army still investigate him? Is there anything under the army rule book that they can still bring him to book, if true? Because this kind of allegation is a serious one that cannot be swept under the carpet. But one thing, in fairness to retired Captain B.A. Lawan, is that you said, which is Corporal Godson, said that the man discouraged him from leaving the Nigerian army. Well, I can tell you that the retired captain can't be blamed for discouraging you. You won't expect that if you go and meet your superior that you want to leave the Nigerian army, the man will just say, okay, you can go. The Nigerian army itself, it's not a good place to be. Just go. No. That's not how it's done. And I'll give you an example. Some of you that have passed through the university system, if you entered for a course, if you are admitted for a course at 100 level, some people will tell you that, oh, you'll be able to change that course in 200 level. Just do it at start. But then for you to leave the department, you have to meet the HOD. You have to justify. You have to give him a justifiable reason why you are leaving his department. And most times, the HOD would not sign that you should leave his department, because there's nothing that you can tell him that will really be convincing. He would rather persuade you. He would rather appeal to you. He would rather make you to see the benefits of you doing that course, you finishing, you graduating with that course, rather than for him to encourage you to leave his department or to just sign that, oh, you should go to another department. So for that, from that experience, I think that the retired captain is right in not encouraging you to leave the military. And the thing is that, let us look at something in terms of the welfare of the soldiers, the Nigerian soldiers. Why would anybody want to leave the Nigerian military if the Nigerian army is, if it's bringing a lot of opportunities and benefit? Why would any soldier want to resign from the Nigerian army? Why would he want to leave voluntarily? It shows that there seems to be limited opportunity in the Nigerian army. It shows that it is more of a risk job than a benefit job. It shows that you being a rank and file, because being a corporal is apparently a rank and file, and they are rank and file, they are officers. You can read more about that online. And if you look at it very well, what are the opportunities truly? And it's not just in the Nigerian army, in the Nigerian educational sector, in the Nigerian health sector, in the police, the civil defense, almost every sector in Nigeria. There's little or no opportunities. There's little or no major benefit that commensurate the hard work that you are putting into the system, except in politics. If you manage to become a councillor, then you become a millionaire overnight, and that itself, the Nigerian government should begin to look into that as well. And one thing I can say is the man referenced education. He said he was doing his master's degree, but he was being frustrated. I think the military should kindly have a system that encourages education, because if you kind of like admit somebody as a rank and file, that means that person apparently has a low level of education, either school SAT, or should I say 5 credit, or sometimes OND. Now, if these people decide to further their education, they should be given the opportunity, because it will give the soldiers exposure, knowledge, and make them a better person. There's something education does to you. It adds to you. It doesn't subtract from you. So I think that the military high command should make it more flexible for soldiers to kind of like further their education if they so desire. And another thing is, you can't serve effectively in the Nigerian military without interest. Looking at that particular video, this man has lost interest. So even if you keep him there, at the end of the day, you will just lose him, because he will one day just die like that, or he will one day, vent his frustration on his colleagues. So the military is a sensitive institution that you cannot serve there if if your interest is no longer there. So I think the army should look into this. Maybe there should be some therapy session for him, or maybe there should be some word of encouragement, or they should see how they can meet at the middle ground. Maybe they will kind of like allow him to conclude his master. They should do something as regards the situation of this man, and they should also increase the benefit and opportunities, and because now, people are not joining the military anymore. The other day, the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was saying, "Oh, people, Lagosians should try and join the military." Well, how will people go and join the Nigerian army if there are no opportunities? Who wants to die? Definitely, nobody wants to die. So they should increase the opportunities in the Nigerian military. I hope that the Nigerian military will look into the case of this Corporal Godson. The Nigerian military, the Nigerian army, they are trying. They are doing a good job, at least, and based on the level of resources that they have at their disposal. And we hope that government will look into their needs and provide their needs for them, so that they can be able to continue to secure Nigeria as a country. It's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.